I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights. Having an armed citizenry comes with a price, and that is part of liberty.
When Americans are angry, they turn to guns. Every single time. We've been trying to tell you that for years, for over 20 years, because children have been unalived in their places of learning over and over and over again by hurt individuals. So it has happened to CEOs of the worst corporations in this country. It has happened to our president. Now it's happened to Charlie Kirk. Now it's happened to a political figure, which tells us something important about our culture. The internet and media have made it so the political space has expanded drastically. And in light of this, so have feelings about and surrounding politics. They've expanded, they've grown, and they've gotten serious to the point where people are so distraught and angered by their political emotions that they have resorted to pew-pewing people. And I can't act like I don't understand that. I can't act as though that feeling and that result is not expected when the talking points of these social media figures have led to a culture based around hating individuals who look like me. We are seeing a drastic resurgence of marginalization and dehumanization taking commonplace in America. In our social institutions, places that were supposed to feel safe are now politicized in a way that hurts brown, black, and LGBTQ communities. What do you expect to happen? Charlie Kirk has been one of the biggest vessels in communicating this hatred. And now we're seeing a symptom of a deeper problem manifesting in the violence that was perpetuated against him. People are angry and afraid, and they don't like the direction that this country is going. And they don't know what to do about it. Blame the root problem. Blame the fascist culture that is taking over this country, that is making every other country look at us like we are crazy. Are you seeing it now? Are you understanding that something is wrong?
Hi guys, my name is Esther Daniel and you're welcome back to the channel. So let me start by saying this. Any death is sad for the family. I do feel for them and I hope they find the strength to heal. But we have to be honest, when Charlie Kirk was shot and killed, a lot of people, especially black folks, did not feel sadness. It's saying something bigger about the kind of person he was and the damage he did. Let's get into it, but before we do that, please subscribe to the channel, like and share the video to help the channel out, and don't forget to drop your thoughts in the comments.
Breaking news, everybody. Charlie Kirk has been shot. I'm making this video on the fly. I just got wind of the story. There's not much details around here, so I want to make the point to say that he's been shot. We don't know if he's going to make it or not. From what I've heard, I'd be surprised if he does make it, but we have to talk about this, right? Because if I'm being 10,000% honest with myself right now, I feel bad. But I feel bad for not feeling bad, right? It shouldn't come to this, right? He's an extremist. There's plenty of disagreements. There's a moral rift, right? There's a moral barrier. There's obviously a political barrier there, right? But it shouldn't come to just being shot out in public, right? But from what I've collected, this is the guy who said that death is a necessary evil for things like the Second Amendment to be possible. This is the guy who advocates for the political party that claims that gun violence is non-existent. It's a non-issue in America, right? I feel bad because I can't find it in myself to feel bad. It's a sad story, and I do wish him well. I do hope that he pulls through. At the end of the day, he has a fucking daughter that needs a father, right? But let's not forget that this is the guy that said that if that same daughter was raped, he would make her have the baby, as if he understood the pain that would cause her. I just think about the things that he would say if there had been an assassination attempt on Joe Biden, or if Kamala Harris had been shot, or I saw him when they were peeling BLM off of the pavement in DC, and he was there with his selfie video camera smiling ear to ear and shit like that. So when it comes to police brutality and black people losing their lives at the hands of racist cops hiding behind a fucking badge, he can ignore that and say that every effort and protest and riot and rally and parade in the name of denouncing police brutality, he can say all of that is bullshit and cheer as all of these BLM initiatives are pulled back by the Trump administration. And then I, as a black man, am supposed to get on here and tell everybody to offer thoughts and prayers to him right now, the same thoughts and prayers they offer to the students who died at these multiple mass shootings, while the party that is currently in control of the federal government still tells us that gun violence is not an issue. I don't have that in me. It bothers me that I live in a reality where I can't find it in me. You know what I'm saying? To feel bad about what happened to it, because the gun violence shouldn't be happening. He was just in South Korea talking about how safe it was over there and how you couldn't go outside and read a book in America because it's so unsafe and everything like that. But then he'll come back and advocate for the Second Amendment of right and just act like gun violence isn't a fucking thing, right? And then he gets shot, you know? And here's the important part. Pay attention to this part. This is the part I need you to pay attention to, right? This is scary, right? We just had that random senseless violence in North Carolina with the girl from Ukraine who got stabbed, right? Now Charlie Kirk has been shot, right? Donald Trump is doing this false pretense of crime being all throughout DC, and so he brought in the National Guard and he's planning to send it to other cities throughout the country, right? He's already said that, oh, Democrats are pro-crime now because we were speaking out against what he's doing in D.C., right? And how Chicago's standing up to him and shit like that, right? So he says, oh, the Democrats are pro-crime now. And then one of his biggest supporters, one of his biggest advocators just got shot, and he might not be with us. You know what I'm saying? I have already seen the tweets and the comments that say, oh, the Democrats and the left are going to the extremes. This is the party of violence. They are going to use this to their advantage. They might even go as far as using this in the same way that when Hamas attacked Israel, they've ridden that wave to implement an entire genocide, right? They are going to use this and mold this into the story of the Democrats on the left are so extreme and so pro-violence and pro-crime that they're taking out people they disagree with politically. Keep in mind, what was the Republican response when those Democratic lawmakers got assassinated by that person pretending to be a police officer? What was their reaction when people on the other side of the aisle were shot? I can't find it in me to feel bad when I think about the rhetoric that would come from Charlie Kirk and MAGA and the Trump administration and his cabinet and his team if somebody else were to get shot. After we've seen Donald Trump say, oh, well, we just need to move on. You ignore gun violence over and 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 over again. And then when one of those bullets hits you or one of those bullets hits one of your supporters, now the country is supposed to come together in thoughts and prayers. We don't know if he's going to make it or not. We know those students are dead. We know those parents lost a fucking kid. That's set in fucking stone. So yeah, I want him to live, and I hope that if he does live, he can take a look around and be a little different going forward, right? So when I ask myself, like, what's my reaction? I feel bad for not feeling bad. I can't watch all the things Charlie Kirk has said and done when he says bullshit like, oh, well, if you're having intercourse with the girl and it's all consensual and then halfway through she says stop or she says no, you know, that's a bit of a gray area. It's hard to feel sorry for people that say shit like that. Do I need to spend the next 5 minutes going over the receipts of his alludes to racism? Like, when they killed Hitler, did people mourn, you know? It's a certain level. When Hulk Hogan died, did people mourn? Or were they like, fuck him because he's a raging racist that advocated for Trump? No. When Hulk Hogan died, was it not fuck him for being a racist and advocating for Trump? So if Charlie Kirk is on the other side, it's difficult. for me to find sympathy and empathy and pain inside me, considering the things he's advocated and the things he's turned a blind eye to and things like that. You don't get to spend your life on earth advocating for and laughing at the suffering of other people on top of ignoring real life issues that they deal with. But then when peril and tragedy comes your way, you're looking at the world for a hug. And I don't know how to honor that request. I'm sorry. I hope he pulls through. I hate that we live in a country where guns are this accessible and gun violence is this rampant, but you know, he's said a lot. He's said a lot and he's done a lot. Okay?
I'm sure by now you're aware of the Charlie Kirk incident. It's everywhere. It's all over the news, plastered. And unfortunately, I watched the video and I knew that it wasn't going to end well. I'm not a Charlie Kirk fan. I never was, just for multiple reasons. But let me say something. At no point in time would I ever condone, promote, agree with any sort of political violence. And that goes for everybody. I don't care what side you're on. Right, left, down the middle, around the corner, whatever. It's just we have enough stuff going on right now in this country without having to deal with any of that. But let me say something. I want you to pay attention to how this is handled, to the attention it gets, to the action it gets. And then I want you to compare all that to the incident involving Melissa Hortman and her husband, or any recent school incident involving children. Just pay attention. Keep your eyes open. I hope I'm wrong, but I highly doubt it. I feel bad for Charlie and his family and everybody, but this will get much more attention based on who he was and the people we have in power right now. I hope I'm wrong, but I doubt it. Y'all take care of yourself. Love you.
Charlie Kirk's shooter is still at large, y'all. They have released the elderly man. They've let him go. But there has been a little bit of talk saying that this shot came from about 50 yards away from way back when. So people are alleging that maybe it's a military person. Maybe it's somebody who got some good aim. I don't know. But the shooter is still at large. And according to Aaron Parnas, Charlie Kirk is in critical condition. Now, I'm going to say this. Charlie Kirk is going to be a martyr. Whether he lives or dies, he's about to be a martyr. And no, he will not be a martyr to make gun control a little bit harder. He will not be a martyr to amend the Second Amendment. He will not be a martyr for any of that. He will be a martyr for people like Elon Musk to call the leftists the party of murderers. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? 9 times out of 10, the people that have taken shots at political figures have been on the right side. They have not been on the left. So this narrative is about to come out real hard. I'm going to keep y'all posted as much as I can.
I'm sorry, because am I actually seeing people say that they feel bad for Charlie Kirk? I know I'm seeing a lot of people saying that, oh, you guys shouldn't be saying this should happen. The same man who said, oh, there's a cost to liberty. When you allow gun ownership, you allow gun death. Like, tell me we're talking about the same man. Either people are talking about somebody else or they're fucking deluded. We're in a state of delusion. Like, yes, the world's fucking collapsing, but what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing?
So here is the truth. Charlie Kirk spent years building a brand off of other people's pain. He mocked black struggle. He called racism fake. He defended police even when unarmed black people were killed. He treated every fight for equality as some kind of joke or threat. So now that he's gone, people don't suddenly flip and start mourning. Why would they? He never gave them empathy when they lost somebody. He never stopped to say, wow, this community is hurting. Instead, he cashed in on their pain, made speeches of their trauma, and turned young conservatives against them. That is why you are seeing laughter, memes, and people calling it karma. It's not that people are celebrating death for the sake of it. It's that they don't feel guilty for not caring about his, the same way he didn't care about theirs. And to be real, it exposes the hypocrisy. Conservative will tell you, oh, life is precious. You must respect that. But when George Ford died, when Breonna Taylor died, where was that respect? Where was that same energy? They blamed the victims. They twisted the story, and Charlie Trix was one of the loudest voices doing that. So forgive people if they are not crying now. Forgive people if they are saying this is karma. Because for years, he told America is safe, racism isn't real, violence is exaggerated, and then he dies violently in America at a campus event. The irony is impossible to ignore. Now, I'm not saying death should ever be celebrated, but I'm saying this: when you spread your whole life mocking and denying people's pain, you can't spread poison and then be shocked when they don't cry at your funeral. That's just the truth. And to me, that's the lesson here. Legacy matters. What you put into the world comes back. He chose to put division, denial, and hate, and now the reaction to his death reflects exactly what he gave people when he was alive. That's not me being cool, that's me being real. So yeah, I feel for his family. Nobody deserves to lose a loved one at that. But Charlie Kirk himself, I can't fake empathy, and I think a lot of people feel the same. His death isn't just about one man, it's about what he stood for, what he represented, and how much pain he piled onto communities that are now refusing to shed a tear for him. And maybe, just maybe, that should be a wake up call. If your legacy is so toxic that people laugh when you are gone, maybe you live the wrong way. Anyway, guys, these are just my opinion, and I would like to hear your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like and share the video to help the channel out. See you in the next one. Bye.